Welcome, my darlings, to my humble chateau. Please make yourself very comfortable. Relax your mind and release your imagination to me. I will bring you a story to entrance and entertain. Perhaps a frightening one. Perhaps a steampunk. Perhaps a bit of mythology. Anyway, sit back, enjoy, and subscribe to me. I work security where the residents are monsters. By BoeWhiskey. My name is Emery, and I work as security at a specialized facility similar to a mental hospital. What set the residents apart here from any other mental institution is that they all have something special or supernatural about them. Even members of the staff and workforce at this place have something that sets them apart from regular, everyday people, including myself. After an incident with one of the residents, I decided to dive a little deeper into the young woman's past and take a look at her file. Unlike most medical businesses or facilities, this actually isn't a problem here, even though I'm part of the security staff and not the medical staff. I won't bore you with the details as to why, though I do want to say first off, though, that this woman doesn't appear on the outside to have anything special about her until the event that sparked my interest in her file occurred. I honestly couldn't understand why she was here. The only thing that seemed to set her apart from a typical human on the outside is that her hair is naturally alabaster in color. Well, at least it's naturally that color now. I guess it wasn't always that way, but it changed. And no, she doesn't dye it. As far as I can tell, no one has a name for what she is, and her origins have not been determined. Also, I will use the name given to her since she came into our care, as opposed to her real name. I'm not sure why, but everyone here, including herself, calls her Virgo. Actually, there are a few residents that go by different names, including several others that have zodiac names. In Virgo's file, I found a thumb drive that included audio recordings of a few sessions she had with a doctor. There were only 5 sessions, and 4 of them were mostly her answering the doctor with either silence or limited words. The third one of the bunch, however, was enlightening as to what happened first to eventually bring her here. It's the only one where she actually speaks. The following is my best attempt at transcribing the discussion between her and Dr. Cassian, a doctor at the facility.
Miss, are you willing to speak today?
Call me Virgo, like everyone else here already does.
Okay, Virgo, are you ready to talk?
If I tell you what happened, can I leave?
You know that isn't an option. You killed quite a few people, and you are a danger to society. If you were to be released, then the most likely scenarios for your life would be you killing more and eventually being caught and put into prison or killed. The group is willing to house and feed you, keep you safe, and keep others safe from you. With enough time and your cooperation, you could become trusted enough to roam the grounds without the kind of precautions we are currently having to take.
So it really doesn't matter if I talk or not. My life is no longer mine, no matter what.
That's really up to you, Virgo. The more you fight us, the less freedom you'll have. However, if you can prove to have self-control and be of use, you will find that there are many rewards. I have no doubt that you can find a sense of normalcy here, as others have.
All right, where am I supposed to begin?
When do you feel like it all started? Were you a child? Did something happen to you? Is this something your family dealt with as well?
I was an orphan, so I'd have no idea about my family. I didn't have any eating issues as a child, though if that's what you're asking. I was normal, if not a little shy. I didn't start having any cravings until what happened with Marie.
Mary was your first victim, correct?
Marie was my girlfriend.
What happened with Mary?
I thought she loved me. I know I loved her. We had been dating for 6 months and I fell hard and fast. She was absolutely beautiful and funny and just mysterious enough to keep me guessing sometimes. I guess she was also secretive in the fact that I had no idea what she had planned for me. That night changed everything.
What night specifically?
The night we both died.
You're still alive, though.
She brought me back.
Can you explain what transpired?
Of course, I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Are you willing to tell me? Whenever you're ready.
It was late, just after 2 a.m. I remember because I got off work around 1:30 and had just gotten home when she knocked on my door. It had been a long day, but she texted that I could go over to her place and we would spend the rest of the night and the next day together. I was getting some clothes when she knocked on my door. I wasn't expecting her to pick me up, but it was a happy surprise. I grabbed my overnight bag and we got in her car. She had hot chocolate waiting for me and I drank it as she drove. When we got to her house, she said she wanted to show me something. She seemed really excited about whatever it was, so I gladly followed her to the basement. While going down the stairs, I felt myself get woozy, and it was difficult to keep my balance. It was almost like I had vertigo and the descent was doing a number on my equilibrium. I made it down, though, with Marie's help. She seemed so caring and kind.
What was in the basement that she was so excited about?
At first, I couldn't really process anything that I was seeing or what was happening. She led me to a chair and had me sit down. In my state, I didn't realize how strange the chair itself was or notice her strapping me into it. The next thing I remember was opening my eyes and not knowing how much time had passed. My head ached a little and I tried moving, but I couldn't, which alerted me to the straps around my arms and legs. Marie was there and came over, talking in a soothing voice. She told me everything would be all right, that she loved me. I couldn't understand what was going on, and I told her to release me. She told me that she couldn't just let me go yet, that she needed to try something, and I was perfect for it. She picked up a corked vial from the table nearby and told me to drink it. At first I refused, but she promised that she would let me go once I drank it. I still didn't agree to it immediately, but eventually I let her feed me the liquid. It burned going down my throat, but that quickly subsided to a warming tingle that started in my chest and spiderwebbed out to the rest of my body. It was euphoric. It felt like my entire body was as light as air, but somehow also connected to the ground. I don't just mean the floor either. It was as if I had roots that extended from my feet and pushed through the cement floor and into the earth below me.
What was it that she gave you?
I have no idea, but whatever it wasn't enough. In my delirium, it was easy for her to give me another vial and have me drink it no problem. I remember her feeding me the second liquid and it feeling cold as it entered my body, like drinking the iciest water imaginable. Everything started to fall away from me then, and I felt those roots connecting me to the earth begin to shrivel and decay. I coughed and leaned to the side, spitting up whatever was coming up my throat. I remember the thick, green and dark red liquid forming a splatter on the floor, and I thought for a second that it would have been pretty if the colors were brighter and it wasn't such a mess. Then I died.
How do you know that you died?
Because when I came back, Marie was leaning over me, her head on my chest, crying. She looked up quickly, tears all over her face, and she kept telling me that I had died, that I'd lost a pulse, that I hadn't been breathing. She stuttered and said that I had been gone for hours, that there was no way I could be back, that I'd already begun to grow cold. Everywhere she came in contact with my skin, she felt like fire against me. She was a pillar of comforting heat that I needed to get closer to. It was like when you're somewhere cold and there's a bonfire, and you keep edging closer and closer to the flames, trying to capture their warmth until you're so close the embers and sparks are almost catching your clothes.
So you also felt cold?
No. It's hard to explain. She was made of fire, and I wanted to feel that fire. But at the same time, I didn't feel really cold. I needed her warmth, but I wasn't shivering or actually feel like I was cold.
What happened then? Do we need to stop?
No. I'd rather get it out now and not have to speak of it again.
Okay, take your time.
She kissed my lips, and her heat pulsed against me, blooming from my mouth to the rest of my face. I needed her in a way I'd never needed anyone before. I held her close and kissed her back, savoring every second as I lost control. The next part is still a bit of a blur.
Just tell me what you can.
I'm not sure when it happened, but my teeth had become sharp, and I must have grazed her lip. She pulled back, blood bubbling to the surface where her bottom lip had been cut. As she moved, I felt every bone in her body shift. I heard them, and it sounded like sizzling meat. My heart pounded in my chest, and the invisible roots I had felt before shuddered with excitement and longing. I acted before I knew what I was doing. She had no time to react. I lunged for her, pinning her to the floor, several bones crunching under the force I exerted. It was mouth-watering. My nails had hardened, and between them and my teeth, I tore into her flesh like it was nothing. I ripped away skin, muscle, and tissue until I reached those beautiful bones of hers. At first it was difficult to detach one, but at the time I dislodged one of her ribs and put it to my mouth. Oh, it was clear that the effort was worth it. It was easy to crunch, and I slurped the marrow, savoring it on my tongue. When I finished the first, I kept going. I felt as if I hadn't eaten in years. It was so incredible. I didn't even notice when she died. I don't know if it was before I started eating or after. I don't know if she saw me rip into her rib cage and begin feasting. I couldn't stop until I was full, and most of her skeleton was inside my stomach.
What did you do after that?
I ran. What else could I do? I grabbed her car keys and went back to my place. I knew I couldn't stay there. I just killed my girlfriend.
Why did you go back home first?
I had to get clean. I was covered in gore and bits of Marie. I was so scared that somebody on their morning commute would notice me.
Did anyone notice you? If you went home, why did you leave everything there when you left town?
It was all material. I cleaned myself up and just grabbed some clothes. I withdrew as much money from my bank as I could without closing the accounts. And I left town. I didn't need anything else. The most important thing to me was already gone. Dead. All because of me.
Do you ever go back to Mary's home? Do you know what they found there?
No, I never went back. And I didn't know anything was found.
Did you know that Mary was a witch?
What? What the hell are you talking about?
It was kept out of the public reports, but yes, the group did their own investigations and research. Mary was a witch, and those liquids she gave you were potions. She was attempting to cross science with magic. What she tried to do was reckless.
Bite your tongue! Marie was incredible. She never would have done anything to hurt me on purpose.
Did it never occur to you that she might have something to do with how you are now?
No. Did she?
No, not entirely. As far as we can tell, she's the reason you died, but what she was attempting would not have caused you to become this. Her potions were amateur, and although there is an obvious side effect, aside from your death, they are not the reason you crave bones and marrow.
What side effects?
What color was your hair before you ingested her solutions?
Dark brown.
And now it's white.
Is that all you care about? My damn hair? I killed my girlfriend.
You also killed 17 other people before you were caught.
They didn't matter.
Why not? They had lives, families, friends. Why is it only Mary mattered? Is it because of your attachment to her?
No! Yes! I don't know.
Why didn't you ever eat as much of any of those people as you did with Mary?
They didn't taste as good.
I see. Is that why she mattered?
Fuck you. She mattered more because I loved her, not because she tasted better than anything I've ever eaten in my life.
You need to calm down.
You need to go to hell. I won't calm down. I told you what happened, and all you can do is sit here and talk about Marie like she was nothing. She was everything. She was my everything.
Security, please escort Miss Virgo back to her room immediately.
No! I don't want to be stuck back in there! No!
Subject shows intense emotions in regards to her first kill. I will not be filing an incident report at this time. Please note for the record that the subject named Virgo is prone to outbursts and must be sedated until deemed ready for interaction and cooperation. We must continue to research what kind of creature feeds off human bones. In the meantime, we will have to keep her satiated with animal bones. That is all for today's session.
Honestly, I've never heard anything like this woman. She ate the bones of her girlfriend, and sometimes I catch her looking at me, as if I'm her next meal. Virgil actually seems nice and caring most of the time, but sometimes, especially since the incident, I think I make her salivate. So quoth this raven. My dears, I really enjoyed this little tale by BoeWhiskey, and I hope she continues the series. Visit her story and give it a thumbs up. And if you liked this video, please give me a like. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and ring the little bell so you know when to come up and see me. If you comment, I will do my very best to comment back. Thank you, my darlings, on this 2-year special. And a special thanks to NaturesTemper for his kind help on this project. Bye-bye, my darlings.